What's the highest I can get in Stuttgart? The answer is by smoking weed. The answer is by going up the Fernsehturm, Stuttgart's TV tower, and smoking weed there. However, both of these things cost money, and I'm unemployed. So that raises the more interesting question. What's the highest up I can get in Stuttgart for free? Now, you can understand this question in two different ways. Either, what's the highest point geographically above sea level I can get to in Stuttgart for free? On the other hand, what's the highest above ground I can get in Stuttgart for free? Let's answer the first question, the one about elevation above sea level, first, because it's easier to answer. If you know Stuttgart, you know that it lies down in the Kessel, kind of a depression with hills rising around it to all sides. Now, you might have heard that the highest point in Stuttgart geographically is this hill here, the Birkenkopf, where I'm right now. At least that's what Google Maps says, which rises 509 to 511 meters, depending who you believe, above Stuttgart West. Its height is partially due to the large amount of World War II rubble that was carried up here, and the views are stunning from up here. Here the fog still kind of hangs in the hills towards the direction of the Schwarzwald. The Birkenkopf is a beautiful place, well worth a visit, but it is not the highest point in Stuttgart, no matter what Google Maps says. Because the geographically highest point of Stuttgart, the highest point above sea level, is here in Stuttgart-Vaihingen at the very southwestern corner of Stuttgart, right next to the big Autobahn interchange, which you might be able to hear in the background. This is the Bernhardshöhe. At about 549 meters above sea level, it is Stuttgart's geographically highest point. Not only that, it is in fact so high up that even if you go on top of a very tall building, you will not get to this altitude. So this is in fact the highest you can go. The only exception, of course, being the Fernsehturm, the TV tower on the Waldau, which stands at like 483 meters at its base, and then the viewing platform is like another 147 meters or something up the tower, at which point you would be higher up than here, but again, that one's not free. So this 549 meters is, as far as I could figure out, in fact the highest point you can get to in Stuttgart for free. Now, Bernhardshöhe is the highest point in Stuttgart, but it's not the highest natural point in Stuttgart, because this is in fact man-made. It was built up from the dirt they dug out when they dug some of the train tunnels for Stuttgart, and then they piled it on top of here, so this is why this is high up. Here's the stone commemorating it, 549 meters above sea level. The fact that this place here has only been here since the 70s is also like really evident in the forest. Like, that struck me immediately when I arrived, that the forest looked kind of weird. This is quite a cool and eerie looking forest, mostly because of the fog, but also because it's all thin trees. Because usually in the forests of the region you would expect some like thick oak trees, thick beech trees to be the some of the most dominant features, but here, if you look closely, all of these trees are kind of thin. And that is simply because this forest hasn't been here for so long, and thus the trees here, you don't have like trees here that are like 100 or more years old, as you would easily find in a normal forest. These are such cool landscapes. Look, these trees that have red berries, but not on all of their branches, just some of them. Just down there, it gets foggy again. And similarly, the forest composition is like a bit weird. Like, you have quite a lot of like pines, you have some birches, you even have the odd fruit tree. It looks quite unique. I like it a lot. Okay, now I know I said 549 is the limit, but like, hold on a minute there. Oh God, not good for this. Okay, let's call it 453 meters. Good thing I brought my little gizmo with me that allows me to use to film without using my hands. I also just noticed this tree kind of has a ladder on it. That would have made things a bit easier. Okay, that's settled then. So let's turn to the, in my opinion, more interesting question. What's the highest above the ground you can get in Stuttgart? Well, first off, let's establish some baselines. Okay, so current high score stands at about half a meter. If I climb a tall enough tree, I can easily get 6 or 7 or 8 meters off the ground, although at not insubstantial peril to my physical health. So that's as high up as nature can bring us. So I think from now on we need to be looking at buildings. Now, I don't know what the tallest place is that is supposed to be freely accessible by the general public, but it might be here, on top of the Stadtbibliothek, Stuttgart's municipal library, with its roof terrace, which I'm standing on right now, and enjoying a wonderful view in quite magnificent weather. We are here standing about 46 meters above Meilenplatz, all the way down there. Now, I said buildings that are supposed to be generally accessible freely to the public. Now, if we don't care about that, if we're fine with just walking into buildings that we honestly don't have any business being in, then these 46 meters are of course small beans. According to Wikipedia's list of high-rises in Stuttgart, there's 57 taller high-rises in Stuttgart, and we can see some of them around us right here and there. And then it's just a matter of which of these can we get into and how high up can we get in them. I am currently on the Feigen campus of the University of Stuttgart. The university is closed today, it's still winter break, but that is actually to our advantage because we don't actually want to go inside the buildings, but outside and on top. These two towers form the Naturwissenschaftliches Zentrum, where a lot of the science departments are located, and our plan is to get up this outside staircase, if possible, all the way to on top of the roof. The campus is still way more lively than I expected, which is a bit unfortunate, because I will have to do some climbing to evade the structures that are in place for people not going up staircases they're not supposed to be, or on roofs they're not supposed to be on. But I'll just wait for the right opportunity and make my way up and hope that none of the people in the offices whose windows I will walk past will bother to call security, if they're even at work. Turns out 10 or 11 floors are a lot of stairs. I think for all future buildings I'll just try to take the elevator. I should stress I'm in no way supposed to be where I currently am, and I'm not necessarily wearing my most discreet camouflage, so but the uni is closed, so maybe the security are all on vacation as well. Let's hope for that. Turns out this structure is barring my way to the roof. I don't remember it being that well secured when I went here last. Okay, the other side is barred as well, although you could get through that with just like a little hook or some such implement. But let's enjoy the view for a few seconds more and calculate what our current height and therefore what our current high score is. That's pretty high up, but there's still plenty of taller buildings in Stuttgart. The university building Keplerstraße 17, also known as K2, is very tall and still illuminated up until the highest reaches, where only, I don't know, business people, economics and art history majors usually dwell. And we'll try how far up we can get here. And we will try to go as high up as we can on this panel. Okay, so here we're on the 11th floor, which is in fact at roof level. Like this is already the roof out there, and above me the ceiling isn't very high. The entire building is like 56.8 meters tall or something, so we're probably here at about 54 meters above the street level, although the ground level is kind of different in the front compared to the back of the building. I don't know which one exactly they're counting. And we do have a pretty good view from up here, above the Stadtgarten, the park down there, and the nightly city. That's already pretty high up, and it's probably the tallest public building in Stuttgart. But there's still, according to the Wikipedia list, 25 high-rises that are taller. For example, I would say this building looks rather tall, as does that one, and that one. That's right, we are in Stuttgart-Asemwald. Okay, I'm currently standing on the 22nd floor of one of these 3 gigantic blocks that make up Asemwald. I don't think this is classified as the tallest one. I think this one is classified as the tallest one with these little bits on top. But I think this building is like 66 meters tall. I'm like not on the roof obviously, so maybe I'm at like 63 meters above ground level. These towers were built in 1968 to 1972, and together they have over like 1,100 flats and house over 1,800 people. And this all in just 3 buildings. Okay, I've now also made it to the taller block of Hannibal. Now I'm only in the 20th floor, so both times I was 2 floors below what the theoretical maximum should have been. 1 floor below, the view of the Filterebene is much better. Look at how small everything looks down there. And that is the one we were just in. In both cases, you can just get in through the door by waiting if someone else just comes out or goes in, and then just use the elevator up. These houses have so many people living here that no one will bat an eye if they don't recognize someone coming through the front door. I'll just put some number on screen. That is my best estimate at how far above the city I am. There's the Fernsehturm, and over there it continues somewhere else. So I don't know why the taller building has 22 floors and the one with 24 floors is apparently less tall, but I've been to the topmost living floor of both, and we'll see if we can get any taller than that. We're solidly in the top 10 of tallest high-rise in Stuttgart now, but we can still go higher. This is the Julius Brecht Hochhaus in Stuttgart-Freiberg, the tallest of the big housing projects of the past century here in Stuttgart. By the time it was completed in 1969, it was the tallest social housing project in the country. And we're going to try to get as far up as we can there. Here, I think this one here in the number 8 will get us up the highest, and we'll see if someone is coming in or out at the moment who can open the door for us. And up we go. Okay, I'm here on the 22nd floor, which is just 1 level below the roof I can see here, but I think there's a little section where it goes even higher. There is a staircase that goes up to the roof, but it is locked and barred. No chance for me to get on top of the roof, but my days, look at this view. This entire thing is 70 meters high, and depending where the edge of the roof exactly is that they count, I'm like between 4 and 6 meters below that. So we'll count something like that as our high score. So our current high score stands at 64 meters above ground, and I think there's only one way I can get even higher. That's a pretty tall building. That's the Colorado in Stuttgart-Vaihingen, next to the train station. I doubt they'll let me in here, but Worth a shot. Okay, I'm in the elevator. There is an occupied front desk, but they don't care who walks to the elevators because there's like a ton of different things in here, including like doctors and stuff. So the highest up I can get is apparently the 17th floor. So let's see. Okay, this is the 17th floor, but there are stairs here that lead even higher. Let's see how far up we can go. Oh, just one higher. 18th floor, it says. Can't get in here, of course. But certainly don't have a view. But it is possible that I'm quite low under the roof. I'm not quite sure how many floors this building has. Yeah. Okay, to me it looks like I was in the second floor from the top, like the last complete one, which I will put on screen how many meters above street level that, by my calculations, should be. There are only 3 high-rises in Stuttgart that are taller than the Colorado. One of them is the LBBW Hochhaus, which is completely owned by a bank. There's no chance they just let me walk in there and go to the top of their building. The second one is a tower of luxury flats next to Parksattel, where I've checked it out. I don't think I'm gonna get in there anytime soon. And the third one is the Porsche Design Tower, also at Parksattel, Stuttgart's tallest building at like 87 meters, which in its top part contains a hotel. So no luck for me there as well. So I think this is where I'll call it. The highest you can get in Stuttgart above ground level is about 65 meters in the Colorado, in Stuttgart-Vaihingen. This has been Urs Adventures Season 1. I hope you enjoyed your time, and I will see you possibly in the future. Except I did of course check the admissions prices for the Fernsehturm, the TV tower, and I noticed the thing where it said Geburtstagskinder Eintritt frei, so you get it for free if it's your birthday, and it didn't say any age limit. And do you want to take a guess at what day it is today? Obviously, this is the best view you'll get anywhere in Stuttgart. I am being completely blown to bits by the wind up here, as you can probably hear. But damn. So yes, I am here on the upper viewing deck, 152.4 meters above the ground, over 635 meters above sea level. This is as high as you get. I hope you enjoyed Urs Adventures Season 1. This is the end of the video. Post-credit scene? Since when are we doing those? Okay, right now I'm flying like several thousand feet over Stuttgart, but I paid for this, so this doesn't count. But that down there is Stuttgart. I think that in the middle is Robert Bosch Hospital, Münster, and behind that Steinhaltenfeld, and Cannstatt here below us.